Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. Just a few housekeeping things. So next week we will be on Saturday the 2nd. I understand that it's the 4th of July weekend and there a lot of people might be doing things, but I will still be here for those of you that want to plan your week. Then the following week, it'll be Sunday the 10th that we will be together. And then quite a few Saturdays in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Saturdays in a row. So that'll be nice to have some consistency there. So what the plan of action today is, the first thing I want to talk about, if I'm going to be completely transparent, which I feel like as a leader, it's always important to be transparent. I have felt like I've been in a rut lately, and don't tell me if you feel the same. Like you're feeling like it's really hard for you to get started, or like you have so much going on that you're having a hard time with prioritizing your schedule and actually planning out the things. Like you might come on this meeting, write down all the things, and then you're like, okay, implement though, like the most important part. And I think like part of it is obviously summertime is always kind of a little more chaotic, especially if you're like me and you have kids and they're home and you're like, how do I keep them busy? And I have work and I have their stuff and I have all this other stuff. And then you're like, shoot, like me. So for me, for instance, last week we came on the meeting together on Saturday, and then my Saturday was jam-packed. My Sunday was jam-packed. I was mentally exhausted, and I'll be honest, I checked out. And this week came and I was like, shoot, I have nothing planned for content. And I mean, I had a plan written down, but I just didn't execute. So I want to help not only myself, but I want to help you guys with, if you're short on time and you're living through a chaotic schedule, how do you batch and prepare content? And then also just a few things about getting out of a funk or just a lack of posting. And I feel like it's really important for not only, there'll be good tips. So the first thing about batching and preparing content. So we come together, we give you kind of an outline of how you can do things for your social media with your stories, your Facebook posting, and for your Instagram posting. Cool. It's great to have the ideas, but like, what do I do to actually take this information that I'm gathering from this Zoom and then putting it into actual action? So I'm going to give you a couple tips for that with a chaotic schedule. And so the first one is pre-taking photos. This is something that I used to do all the time, was to take just an hour, 30 minutes, whatever, do a few outfit swaps and take some photos. And that's something that I got away from, and it's totally been affecting my ability to post content. Sometimes it's easier to just take photos in the moment, obviously, but we're all going to run into those situations where your day does not go as you had planned it to. It's going to happen. Life, as much as we try to make schedules and plan things, there's always going to be wrenches that are being thrown into your day. And having those photos pre-planned, especially, so like I have a ton of photos. I have a bunch that I haven't utilized, but like, then I decided to chop all my hair off. And I'm like, shoot, I can't use the ones with long hair because they're going to be like, oh, she obviously took that picture a long time ago. But I think it's just good to have some photos on hand that you can just throw up in the case of like your day just gets crazy and you're like, oh, I have this picture that I can utilize for my Facebook, or I have this photo that I can utilize for my stories. So not only having pictures for posting, but like pictures for stories as well. So I think it's good to take a zoom out of your week. So after this, if you do have the time, take like 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, not a whole lot of time, and just kind of play through your week. What does your schedule look like for work? What are your kids doing? What kind of things do you got going on? Do you have events going on? I know, right? What events do you got going on? What things are happening? And where might there be actual photo opportunities? So like, for instance, today, my entire family is coming over. Well, my parents and my brother, and we're going to spend time together. So I think that'd be a great time to take pictures with like my family, and we're going to a baseball game. So I'm going to take pictures for that. while I go on my morning walks, because I try to take a morning walk every day, that's a great opportunity for me to take some photos. So I take some photos there. I have an earlier schedule with my work this week, so I get off a little bit earlier. So that gives me time to, and my husband's not going to be home because he's working late. I'm just giving you kind of an idea of what I do personally. My husband is going to be working his like overnight shifts. So that gives me the evenings to take some time and take some photos and record some things. Taking product photos for your stories and your posts. So there's times where like I don't have a lot of time in the morning. Like maybe I decided to sleep in a little later because my body needed that. So then I don't have that extra time to like sit and take a photo or a video of me making my shake or saying something in my stories. And so having that stuff on hand is so crucial for those moments where you're in a crunch and you're like, shoot, what do I post? Because often what happens with me, for instance, is like yesterday, I wanted to sleep in a little bit. My body needed it. I'd been working out a lot this week. I was tired. I was feeling a little exhausted, and I'm not going to like sacrifice my health, obviously, to just get up a couple of minutes earlier. So I quickly did my 3 steps. I got ready. I had to work. So I got to work, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even have one of my 3 steps in my phone, in my stories. Shoot, I have to make sure that's a priority every single day that I'm showing my 3 steps. So what I did was I went back through my stories archive and just found a photo that I had utilized before and repurposed it. You can do that too. That's totally fine. People are not paying that much attention. Trust me, that they're like, oh my gosh, she posted that photo of her shake and her capsules 7 weeks ago. I know it. I recognize that photo. That is not happening. So that's always a solution as well. Also for making reels and videos and stuff like that, because that is where content is right now, is in video. And if you're not taking the time to do this, I'm trying to give you some ideas. So 5 to 15 minutes time blocked. Maybe it's while you're in the bathroom. Maybe it's while you're waiting for something, like you're waiting for your kids, or you're waiting for, I don't know, your order. You're waiting for something, whatever that might be. 5 to 15 minutes of just saving sounds that you're seeing on reels that are repeating. So often with reels, at least on Instagram, I've noticed that a lot of this, you'll see a lot of the same sounds. So why would you not hop on that bandwagon? So saving those sounds. You don't have to know how you're going to create something yet. You don't have to know like what I'm hiding in the bathroom right now. Mom life. You just save a bunch of these sounds without any idea of what context or how you're going to put that into action or anything like that. Then, do you have an extra hour somewhere in your week? Again, zooming out in your week and taking a look and saying like, ooh, I might actually have an extra hour at this time. Do some outfit swaps and just record. You don't have to know what the context is. Yet again, you can just record a bunch of them. Brock Johnson, this is what he says he utilizes with his reels. And he's like the king of reels. So why wouldn't you? And he has like 500,000 followers. Why would you not take his advice and implement it? So record a few sounds, change your outfits just a couple times, and then save them into your drafts. Make sure sometimes that you also save the video, because Instagram likes to be a jerk and delete your stuff sometimes. So there's that. Here's another thing that I think is really important that I have often utilized when I feel like I'm in kind of a funk. When are you most creative? If you're trying to come up with a post and it's a time of day when you're mentally drained, you're kind of at the end of the day, whatever, or maybe you're not the most creative person in the morning, and when you're most creative is after the kids are in bed and you have a few moments to yourself. Understanding the time that you're most creative is really important, because then you can utilize that period of time to just pump out verbiage, write down things, write down kind of what you're thinking about the business, where you're thinking about the products, what kind of tips you want to provide people, what kind of ideas you're just having pop in your head. Write those things down when you're most creative. If you're trying to drum up creativity or create a post in a moment where you feel like you're already stressed out or you're just mentally lacking, it's not going to hit as well. And you're going to feel frustrated. And then it might not even translate that well out to your audience as well. So those are a few of my ideas for like, if you're in a time crunch, pre-take some photos, take 5 to 10 minutes to just save sounds. If you have an extended period of time, record a few sounds and just save them into your drafts. And then also understanding when you're going to be most creative to actually write out text. Now, for getting out of a funk, lack of posting. I was thinking this morning because I was like, man, I have just not been showing up the way that I should. And I have a team. And for me, I can either beat myself up about those things. Like you can either beat yourself up about, oh my God, I haven't posted in a week. Oh my gosh, I haven't, been showing up in my stories. I just haven't been consistent and my numbers show for it. You can either continue to sit in that place, or you can say, I'm a human being and stuff happens, but what is the differentiating factor is what I do with that. Where do I go from that place of feeling? Do I continue to remain stuck, or do I allow myself to get a little bit uncomfortable and go outside of my comfort zone and do something about it? So the first tip I have for getting out of a funk is just start again. We constantly worry about, what is this person going to think? What is my leader going to think? What is my team going to think? What are the people on my social media going to think? Scratch that stuff, get out of your own head and just start again. And I've had people that have been on my team that have like, maybe they've been in a funk and they haven't posted for months and they're like, I just don't even know where to get started. And I say, the best thing to do is to be transparent with your audience and be completely transparent with people and say, I've had a lot going on in my life right now, because I can tell you, as I have stated when we started the Zoom, there are plenty of you that are responding that you're feeling the same. I can tell you, if you're telling your audience that you've been going through a lot mentally, you've had a really hard time, but you're ready to get yourself out of that and start feeling good again. So I want to share, because this is something that transformed my life and I know that it can do the same for you. Whatever. I say, just start posting and be transparent with your people. The second thing is draw inspiration from other people. If you're just struggling with even the words to say in a post or anything like that, find somebody that is in a season of consistency and don't copy them completely, but draw inspiration from them. What are they saying? How are they saying it? How do they show up in their stories? How are they posting? What kind of reels are they creating? And just kind of get some ideas and some juices flowing, but to draw that inspiration from other people when you can't draw from within yourself. Third thing, reach out to your leader or somebody that's a little bit higher up. If you're not getting a response from them or you're not getting what you need from them, because that's going to happen, because maybe your leader's in a funk. I don't know. Keep drawing from somebody else. Find somebody else, go up and up or sideways or down. Somebody that I personally follow, because I feel like a lot of our thoughts and values align, is Katie Coberline, and I've reached out to her multiple times and she has been super gracious, super nice, just sharing her information and sharing inspiration to me. So they don't even have to be within your upline or sideline. So find somebody that you can obviously be respectful of their time. If they're not your leader, you don't want to be like, I'm going to ask you a billion questions. Just ask them one thing. If you could give one tip, what would it be? And then utilize that. The last thing I have that I think is one of the most important things is, especially if you've been thriving for a long period of time, is write down your thrive story again. Just write it down. I think when you when you've been thriving for a period of time, it can be months, it can be years. You could be like me, where I've been in for 4 years, where you forget where you've came from, like what your life looked like before Thrive. You forget about that place because you're so used to feeling good and just operating this way. You don't remember what it's like to be that other version of yourself. And I am constantly reminded when I look back in my memories on Facebook. So that's also a good thing you can always do, is just take a walk through your memories and see what your mindset used to look like, what kind of things you used to post, the things that you were saying. Were you negative all the time? Did you feel like you were constantly just repeating a cycle over and over again? Maybe watch some of your old live videos and see where you've come confidence wise. I did that this morning. I took a moment to watch, because I had 2 lives in my memories, one from when I first started, and then one that I did like, I don't know, a year ago. And then I also looked at one that I did just a week ago or something like that, or 2 weeks ago. The person from the first video and the person that I watched from like a couple weeks ago are strangers. They're not even the same person. And I was like, wow, I have really grown as a human, and I forget that. And I'm constantly beating myself up now in this place where I'm like, oh man, I just feel like I need to work on myself, and I need to change this or change that or change this. When I look back, I realized how much progress I've already made in this time frame, and we can often forget that. So rewrite your Thrive story. Do you remember what it felt like getting up every morning? Do you remember what it felt like before you decided you wanted to join the business? Did you not have a whole lot of friends? Were you struggling financially? Did you feel like you just didn't have a safe place to talk to other people? Did you stay in your home and not actually go meet people? What did your life look like before? Why did you start? And I'm going to implement some of those things into planning our week, because I think it's important for you to constantly revisit that, because a lot of people are in the place right now where you were prior to starting Thrive. And it's good to touch into that, because you could potentially impact somebody. So those are my tips for getting yourself out of a funk. Just start again. Don't be afraid. Just start and be transparent with your audience. Second is drawing inspiration from other people that are in a consistent season of their life. And then 3 is reach out to somebody in your upline, downline, sideline. And lastly, rewrite your Thrive story. Where did you used to be before you started Thrive? And just take yourself back there. If you need to close your eyes and think about it, do that, because it's so impactful. So now we are going to plan our week, and we're going to implement it this week after. Okay. So Monday for Facebook, I have what if. And the reason I titled this what if is because there are people that are on your page that are skeptical, that are like, that doesn't really work. I've tried a million things. Trust me, because I was that person before. So I put what if. So, and just put ... I'm going to give you a couple of examples how you can expand on that. Like, what if this would be the thing that would truly make you feel like yourself again? What if this would be the thing that would help you regain your health once again? What if this was the thing that helped you show up for your family better? What if this was the thing that made you feel young again? Like, whatever you want to put there that is relevant to your story, start it by saying what if. And this can be a picture of you. What if this would be? Oh, amen, sister, because that's how I felt. Amen to that. She said, what if this is the thing that helped you find yourself for the first time? That almost chokes me up a little bit, because that is how I felt. I was just kind of like floating through life. And once Thrive came into my life, it was like, just even feeling better gave me permission to do better for myself. So, that hits. So if it hits me, it can potentially hit somebody on your page. So titling that what if, and you can do this a picture of yourself. This can be a picture of you with your family. This can be a picture of you maybe a before and after. Maybe it's a picture of you actually doing an activity with your kids, or it's a picture of you being active outside, like whatever that might be. So think about that. What kind of photo can I attach with that tagline? Instagram, I have a reel and I have a trend-based reel. So a trendy sound and doing something with that. However you want to implement that. My son, he's like, can you cut my hair? He just texts me. It's like 8:00, dude, chill. Stories, I have Capsule Tag. If you haven't tuned in, a capsule tag is where you post a picture of your capsules describing what they're doing for you today, and then you tag some other thrivers. Grab the tag. So they're two separate text boxes. So you have the text box explaining what Thrive is doing for you today, this morning, your capsules. And then you have the text box where you're tagging people. So you put at in their handle, and then take the at tagging text box and drag it to the corner so people can't see it. Then when other people tag you, you share that to your story. And this is just a way to show other people in your audience that others are doing it too. It's kind of like the same concept of Flex Friday. Tuesday, I have why you started your business. So this goes back to just taking some time to write down your Thrive story again, and why it is that you actually decided to start your own business. Was it that you saw the possibility for your life? Was it that you were really struggling at the time financially, putting gas in your car, buying groceries for yourself or your family, or you just wanted to be able to buy yourself something for once? Like, why did you start your business? Instagram, I have a carousel that's related to your niche. So whatever that carousel might be, it can be just expanding on a thought. It can be tips. It can be 5 ways to. It can be you're building a recipe. It can be ideas for the summer, like whatever you want to put there. But a carousel is a bunch of slides on Instagram that are in photo format. So you can either do a photo or verbiage or something along those lines. Stories. What do you offer for the business? If you're in a place where you feel like I can't be a leader, I can tell you right now, there is never going to be a situation where you feel like you're ready to be a leader. You have to step into that before you're ready. You have to position yourself as a leader before you ever become one. That's something that I learned in corporate America, honestly, that I acted like the role that I wanted to get with a promotion. So I'll just give you an example. I do work at a bank now, but I'm not really looking to move up within that bank. I kind of just like my little job that I have right now because I want to put my attention and my focus on my business. But when I was looking to build I was looking to grow within the company, climb up the ladder, whatever you want to say. And so when I was a teller, for instance, and I wanted to become a banker, I needed to start acting as if I was already a banker. So the way I talked to people had to be like I was knowledgeable about the products. And I took time to learn, and I took time to study the products and things like that, and practice talking to people like that. I acted as if. And then when I wanted to go from a banker to a manager, I had to act as if I was already a manager. So asking for additional responsibilities, stepping outside of my comfort zone, honestly, and taking on additional roles within that position, so that when I did go to interview for those jobs, I could say, I'm already doing XYZ right now, which are relatable to the role. That's why I would be a good hire for this. The same thing goes with your business as a leader. If you're not understanding what it takes to be a leader by studying, if you're not talking about the things that you do have to offer, I think we think leadership is like, I have to show up and talk on Zooms and I have to know. A leader is just, you are there for a person, you are understanding for that person, and you show up yourself. So like, what do you have to offer people that join the business? Like, what sets you apart? Is it that you take the time to truly care about the people that you bring into this business because that's important to you? Is it that if you're not feeling comfortable talking about yourself, you can talk about what the company has to offer as well. So what do you offer, or what does the company offer as far as the business goes? Running your business for free. We have resources upon resources upon resources within not only this team, but within the company as a general. Wednesday for Facebook, I have why you started Thrive. So taking that time to write down your story, just bring people back to that place, because they'll relate to where you were much more than they will relate to where you're at currently, because they're in the place of where you were. So talk about why you started Thrive in the first place. Instagram for Reel, I have what you think versus what it actually is. And this can be something funny. So like, you think that, I don't know, single parenting will be like this, and it actually ends up being like this. Or you think homeschooling will be like this, and it actually ends up being like this. Or you think weight loss will be like this, and it actually ends up being like this. Just kind of like something to be lighthearted and to help people understand. Stories, how are you making your mix today? And I would encourage you to talk about 2 benefits that you've received from the lifestyle mix itself. So you can either show yourself making your shake in the morning in your stories, or you can show the end product and just talk about the things that you added and then what benefits you're getting from it. So like, is it that it's truly helped you with your digestive system? Is it that it keeps you full all day, or not all day, but in the morning, so you don't feel like you have to constantly eat stuff? Does it help you with just a boost of energy? Does it help you get some extra protein in, and that's something that you struggle with? Like, whatever it is, how are you making your mix and how it's helping you? Thursday, Facebook, I have Throwback Thursday. This can be your own personal throwback, or it can be somebody else that you pull from a before and after. Instagram, I have Twitter style thoughts. So you use the Canva app, create a template that is like the Twitter template, and then just expand on a thought that's related to your niche. Stories, I have all 3 steps. Make them relatable. So making them relatable would be like, I mean, it's Thursday. Your kids are probably going insane for the week because they're bored at home, and you need mood support so that you don't lock yourself in the bathroom. Like, I don't know, like Star. Make it relatable as to why you use your 3 steps a day, and then talking through them. So like, you can say, these are my capsules, and this helps me wake up when my child has been up all night, or when I have a million thoughts running through my mind. It helps me wake up early and still do the things I need to do. This is the mix. This helps me get something in that's nutritious right away in the morning, because when I'm busy, I have a tendency not to eat, like whatever that looks like. And then this is the sticker that helps me not lose it on my children when they've asked me for snacks 9 times already this morning. Like, whatever you want to put there. Friday for Facebook. Like, man, I'm going in. Thursday IG was Twitter style thoughts. So utilizing Canva to create that Twitter template and just expanding on a thought that's related to your niche. Facebook, I have samples. So however you want to spin it, samples for Facebook, I'm just going to leave it at that. We've kind of talked about the numerous ways that you can do that. Instagram, I have Reel tips to ... So however you want to expand on that for your niche, but use a trending sound, or just set it to music, or you can do an original audio where you're talking to people, that sort of thing. Stories for Friday, I have do a 4th of July poll series. I'm understanding of the fact that some people live in Canada or different countries. Like, I get that. Do a different sort of summer. Shoot, if you're in Australia, it's not summer. Whatever, just do a poll series. I say 4th of July because the majority of us live within the same country. So 4th of July poll series, and then also talking about samples in your stories as well. There's a really loud car that just drove by. Saturday, it is the 2nd. So Facebook, we're going to talk about how we get our products for free and sharing your credits. If you're not getting your products for free, you can still talk about getting your products for free every month. So are you sharing your credits? Do you help your customers get started with utilizing some credits? Or do you just get to feel good for free? Like that is something that people need. So however you want to spend that, but talking about how you can get your products for free every month. Instagram, I have Reel, or you can do the 1-second video clip of a quote. So you can pull a quote or a funny meme or something along those lines, and then screen record for a second, trim it up so it just looks like a little square, upload that into Instagram, and then it just constantly replays and kind of tricks Instagram to thinking, oh, a lot of people are watching this. Cool. So we'll keep showing it. Stories, I have also talked about free product every month, because here's the thing. You got to make sure sometimes that you're double dipping, that you're talking about it on your post, but you're also discussing it in your stories, because you will have people that do not catch you on the live feed. Because here's the thing. Facebook shows your post to about 3% of your audience. And that's if you're active. So if you have 100 people, it's showing 3 people in your post. But there are a majority of people that actually will tune into stories, because it's easy to click through and just swipe. And it's kind of fun to like be a nosy Nelly and see what other people are doing with their life. So that's why you need to double dip and show things not only on your posts, but also in your stories. So, I kept us to 35 minutes. Look at that. So I'll try to get this up. I have my parents coming over, so I have to like clean and get breakfast started for my daughter and all those things, but I'm going to try to get it up within the next hour, the recording of this on my YouTube. I'll probably just have to bring my laptop downstairs. Otherwise it becomes like out of sight, out of mind. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 2 p.m. I forgot. So again, next week we will be Saturday the 2nd. The following week will be Sunday. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to spend the morning with me. And please, please, please take a few minutes after this to take a look at your schedule and understand how you can take these things and put them into action. Because I don't want you feeling like I felt last week. I don't want you being in a funk. I don't want you feeling like you just don't have the time or you don't got things going on. That's why we come together. So put it into action. You are welcome. I love you all so much. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. See you next week.